You were given, you, the deceased, you were given an incredible opportunity. We allowed you to be born in a human body. You could have a range of experiences that no other physical form on your planet could have. You had this huge brain. You had this enormous capacity. We gave this to you. What did you do with it?
Here we have Graham Hancock. He's a former British writer and journalist. He's someone who goes against the grain. He does his own research, his own studies, and finds out for himself what he thinks to be true. He compiles the evidence and puts forth a different kind of history. Now, one of his main fortes is ancient Egypt, the pyramids. He's very interested in that and how it was built, why it was built, and when it was built. Let's just take a look at this little clip of Graham talking about what happens after death and what is wrote with the pharaohs in ancient Egypt back then and what they think happened when you die. Let's have a look.
Journey through ancient civilizations. What have you come to learn about what this consciousness thing is, if anything at all, or at least what people believed? And how those mythologies were similar.
Yes, I've partly come to this through the ancient texts. There's a very specific scene in a number of the ancient Egyptian funerary texts. It's called the judgment scene. And what you see is, you see the deceased entering into a hall, into a room, at the end of which sits the god Osiris, enthroned. And the deceased is led into the hall by the goddess Ma'at. She's recognized by a feather that she wears in her headdress. She's the goddess of truth, justice, and cosmic harmony. He enters the hall. There's a scale in the hall. In one pan of the scale is an object that represents his heart, oblique his soul. Heart and soul were the same thing for the Egyptians in that sense. And in the other pan is the feather of Ma'at, the feather of truth, harmony, and cosmic justice. You do not want your heart to outweigh the feather at that moment. You want, at the very least, to be in balance. And in order to be in balance, then comes into question the whole way that you've lived your life. Up on the wall of the hall, there are 42 little figures. They're called the 42 negative assessors. Each one of them is going to ask you a question. Did you steal? Did you kill? Actually, the 10 Commandments are all in there, and a lot more as well. Ideally, you should be able to answer no to all of those questions, but the ancient Egyptians always understood how frail human beings are, and that we can always make mistakes. The question is, what do we do when we make a mistake? Do we learn from it, or do we keep on repeating it? And what I read into that is, you were given, you, the deceased, you were given an incredible opportunity. We allowed you to be born in a human body. You could have a range of experiences that no other physical form on your planet could have. You had this huge brain. You had this enormous capacity. We gave this to you. What did you do with it? Did you use it well? Or did you squander it and waste it? And at that moment, you'd better be there with some answers about how you used it well. So as I come towards the end of my life, I look very carefully at my life. I try to undo wrongs that I have done in the past if I can, and I try to make sure I don't do any more in the future. I want to be a nurturing and positive and useful person to the people around me.
The health situation you've gone through has clearly made you quite introspective, probably more so than you might have been 10 years ago, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was still immortal 10 years ago. Listen, each and every one of us, every single human being on this planet could die in the next minute. Life is that fragile. It's that sudden. You can never predict how long you're going to live. But what something like this does, it focuses the mind, and it does make me wish more and more that I can leave this life with as few regrets as possible, and that I can feel that I played a useful and positive role in the life of others, and that I even played, in some way, a useful and positive role in the life of the species to which I belong.
Are you happy?
I am very happy.
So Graham Hancock is a well-established journalist. He's a very clever man. He's someone with many accolades and many attributes to how he articulates himself and puts things forward. And this is how he's gained a huge audience and huge crowd in what he does. But if you do want to take a closer look or full look at the Diary of a CEO, I will link it below, and all you have to do is click on that and you can watch the full thing. And I highly advise you do so. But anyway, thank you, Graham Hancock, for this beautiful insight in motion.